The pristine beaches of Sainte Marie stretched out before me as I wiped down the infinity pool's marble tiles. My sister Amanda lounged on a designer chaise, martini in hand, while her husband Bradley talked loudly on his phone about another mega deal. "Elena, darling," Amanda called out, using the name of their usual maid. "Be a dear and refresh my drink. And do try not to drip pool water everywhere this time." I straightened my borrowed uniform, hiding my smile. They still hadn't recognized me under the wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses, their embarrassing tech sister who'd wasted her inheritance on a startup instead of investing in proper real estate like they had. "Right away, madam," I replied softly, masking my voice, as I had all week. The beach house, their pride and joy, was one of the largest on Sainte Marie. They'd bought it last year, bragging endlessly about securing property on the exclusive island. If only they knew what I'd been quietly doing while they celebrated their purchase. "Bradley, darling Amanda," she continued. "When are they announcing the island's new ownership? The suspense is killing everyone at the club." "Any day now," he replied, ending his call. "Some tech billionaire bought the whole thing. Probably another socially awkward nerd who will hide in their compound and never mix with proper society." I bit back a laugh as I prepared Amanda's drink. My phone buzzed silently in my pocket, another update from my team about the infrastructure improvements we'd been secretly planning for Sainte Marie. "The staff these days," Amanda complained as I handed her the martini. "Elena's replacement is adequate, I suppose, but she lacks that proper understanding of her place." "The help isn't what it used to be," Bradley agreed. "Remember when your sister used to visit? Always talking about her little computer company instead of focusing on proper investments, like this house." I moved to adjust the umbrellas, remembering those conversations clearly, how they'd laughed at my plans, dismissed my vision, mocked my focus on technology over social climbing.
My phone buzzed again.
The governor's official announcement was scheduled for tomorrow. Soon, everyone would know that their little beach house was now part of my much bigger plan. "At least we had the sense to buy here before prices went up," Amanda pined. "This house will be worth double once the new owner starts developing the island." If she only knew those development plans were sitting on my laptop right now, hidden in the servants' quarters where they'd insisted I sleep. Speaking of the new owner, Bradley stretched in his lounger. "My sources say they paid over $2 billion for the entire island. Can you imagine?" "I could. Actually, I'd sign the checks myself. Your sister could have afforded a house here if she hadn't wasted her money on that startup," Amanda mused. "Now she'll never be able to buy in. Pity." My phone buzzed a third time. Final contract signed. Press release approved. Announcement scheduled for 9 a.m. tomorrow. "More towels," Amanda demanded, snapping her fingers. "And do straighten the beach chairs. We're having guests for sunset cocktails." I headed to the storage room, passing the framed photo of their house closing last year. They'd been so proud, so certain they'd secured their place among the island's elite. Tomorrow, they'd learn that their proper investment was just a tiny part of my much larger acquisition, that their mocking sister now owned not just a house, but the entire island. But for now, I adjusted my hat and grabbed the towels. The help still had work to do. My phone lit up with another message. "Miss Chin, the governor wants to personally welcome you to Sainte Marie. Shall we arrange a meeting tomorrow?" I typed back quickly, after the announcement. "Make sure the photographers are ready. I want to capture my family's reaction when they realize who's been serving their drinks all week." Amanda's voice carried across the pool. "And do hurry with those towels. The help these days is so slow to understand simple instructions." I smiled, gathering the fresh linens. Soon they'd understand exactly who they'd been instructing all week. Soon their proper society would learn that their latest billionaire neighbor had been hiding in plain sight. But for now, I had towels to deliver and drinks to serve. After all, good help is so hard to find, especially when that help owns the island. The next morning, I prepared breakfast as usual, listening to the news playing on their terrace TV. Amanda and Bradley sat waiting for the governor's announcement, still oblivious to their maid's true identity. "Breaking news from Sainte Marie," the anchor announced. "Governor Phipe will address the island in 5 minutes regarding the historic $2 billion acquisition." Finally, Amanda clapped. Bradley, darling, turn it up. I placed their croissants and coffee on the table, positioning myself perfectly for what was about to unfold. And Elena, Amanda waved dismissively. Do stay out of the way when our neighbors arrive. They're coming to watch the announcement, and we don't want the help cluttering the terrace. Of course, madam, I replied, checking my phone's countdown timer. 3 minutes until everything changed. The neighbors began arriving. All the proper society Amanda had worked so hard to impress. They gathered around the TV, champagne flutes ready to toast the island's new owner. I heard they're absolutely brilliant in tech, one woman whispered. Created some revolutionary AI system. Bradley scoffed. Probably another antisocial genius who will hide away like a hermit. Not like us proper residents who understand society. My phone buzzed. Governor ready. Cameras in position. The TV switched to the governor's office, where Philippe stood at his podium. Behind him, a familiar logo slowly appeared on the screen. My company's logo. Amanda froze mid-sip. Wait, isn't.
Good morning, Philippe began.
Today marks a historic moment for St. Marie. I'm honored to announce our island's acquisition by Chin Global Technologies under the leadership of its brilliant founder and CEO. My hat and sunglasses came off as my photo appeared on screen. The champagne flute slipped from Amanda's fingers, shattering on the marble tiles. Elena, Bradley, she choked. Actually, I smiled, smoothing my uniform. It's Sarah Chin. But you know that, don't you, dear brother-in-law? The terrace erupted in chaos. Neighbors gasped, whispers exploded, and Amanda's perfect composure cracked completely. This is impossible, she whispered. You're the maid? No. I corrected her as my real staff emerged from various positions around the house. I'm your landlord. Well, your island's owner, to be precise. Bradley stumbled to his feet. But your little startup, Chin Global Technologies? I raised an eyebrow. The AI company valued at $30 billion, the one you mocked as my little computer project last Christmas. On the TV, Philippe continued, Miss Chin's plans for St. Marie include a cutting-edge tech hub, sustainable development, and a complete infrastructure overhaul. You've been serving us drinks, Amanda said faintly. Cleaning our pool. Market research. I shrugged. Wanted to see how the other residents treated their staff. Very illuminating, I must say. My actual assistant stepped forward, tablet in hand. Miss Chin, the contractors are ready to begin the island-wide renovations. Shall we start with the beach house sector? Amanda's head snapped up. What beach house sector? This one. I gestured around their precious property. Your house sits on what will become our new innovation campus. But don't worry, as part of our resident relocation program, we've arranged alternative accommodations. Relocation. Bradley sputtered. You can't just. I can, I interrupted. Check your purchase contract's fine print about future development rights. I turned to my assistant. Show them the plans. Holographic blueprints sprang to life over the terrace, showing their beloved beach house transformed into a gleaming tech center. But our investment, Amanda whispered, will be fairly compensated, I assured her. Though, given current market values, you might find it difficult to purchase another property on the island. I paused.
Pity.
The neighbors had fallen silent, watching this drama unfold. The social queens, Amanda and Bradley, outmaneuvered by the sister they dismissed as the help. Your belongings will be packed and moved to the mainland hotel by tonight, my assistant informed them. Unless you'd prefer the staff quarters. I hear they're quite adequate for people who know their place. Amanda's face crumpled as her own words were thrown back at her. The development begins tomorrow, I continued professionally. You understand, of course. Proper investments wait for no one. Bradley's phone buzzed frantically, probably his sources finally informing him who had really bought the island. Why? Amanda finally asked. Why pretend to be the maid? I picked up a fallen champagne flute, wiping it carefully with my uniform cloth. Because you never bothered to look past the surface. You saw a maid, so I played a maid. Just like you saw a failing startup, so I let you believe that too. My real staff had already begun removing the family photos from the walls, replacing them with Chin Global's development plans. The governor's waiting to meet you properly, my assistant reminded me. Of course. I turned to my shell-shocked family. I'd say make yourselves at home, but I smiled slightly. This isn't your home anymore. It's my company's future. As I walked away, I heard Amanda whisper to Bradley. All this time we had her cleaning our pool. No, I called back without turning. All this time I was buying your pool, your house, and your island. I paused at the door. The cleaning was just market research. 1 month later, I sat in my new office, the converted top floor of what was once Amanda and Bradley's beach house. The infinity pool now overlooked a construction site where our tech campus was taking shape, changing St. Marie's skylines stretched forever. Miss Chin, my assistant, entered with a tablet. Your sister and brother-in-law are here. They've been waiting in the mainland office for 2 hours. I glanced at the security feed. They looked different now. Amanda's designer resort wear was replaced by business attire. Bradley's confident swagger had diminished to an anxious shuffle. Send them up, I said, turning back to the development plans. And bring the property portfolios. When they entered, their eyes widened at the transformation. Gone were their precious antiques and tasteful decor, replaced by cutting-edge technology and wall-to-wall screens showing our global operations. Sarah, Amanda started, then stopped, taking in the view from what used to be her terrace. Please sit. I gestured to the modern chairs positioned exactly where their precious chaise lounges had been. I assume this isn't a social call. We've been trying to reach you, Bradley said. About our situation.
Ah, yes.
I pulled up their file on a floating holographic display. The mainland hotel must be quite a change from your beach house. Amanda flinched. We've had offers from other islands, but none quite as prestigious as St. Marie, I finished. Especially now that it's becoming the tech hub of the Caribbean. My phone buzzed with updates about our latest innovations. The island's transformation was proceeding ahead of schedule. Your relocation compensation was quite generous, I reminded them. More than fair market value. It's not about the money, Amanda burst out. This was our home. No, I corrected gently. This was your investment, one that happened to fit into my larger plans. My assistant entered with more files. The Singapore tech team is ready for your call, Miss Chen. And the governor asked about next week's Innovation Summit. Schedule both, I nodded. And please bring the development renders. Bradley leaned forward. Look, Sarah, about how he treated you. You mean having me clean your pool, serve your drinks, sleep in the staff quarters? I smiled slightly. Valuable market research, as I said, really showed me how the island's elite viewed their community. The screens around us displayed the progress of our transformation, smart city infrastructure rising from the pristine beaches, sustainable tech centers replacing old resort properties. We didn't know, Amanda whispered. You didn't ask, I countered. Too busy mocking my little computer project to notice it was revolutionizing global technology. My phone lit up again. Time magazine confirms cover story, St. Marie, Silicon Valley of the Caribbean. Your latest startup investment failed. Bradley tried. We could help you rebuild. I laughed softly, pulling up Chin Global's market valuation. That failed investment just increased our value by another $1 billion. The acquisition was announced this morning. Their faces fell as the numbers scrolled past, billions in assets, global operations, and their precious beach house now just a tiny in my corporate empire. So, why are you really here? I asked, though I already knew. Amanda straightened her shoulders. We want to stay on the island. I see. I pulled up another hologram. And what would you contribute to our new tech hub? Besides social connections that no longer matter. We could learn, Bradley offered quickly.
Adapt.
We have experience in treating staff like servants and dismissing innovation as beneath us. I stood, walking to the window. St. Marie isn't about social status anymore. It's about creating the future. The construction below hummed with activity, Their exclusive beach club becoming a quantum computing center, the tennis courts transforming into sustainable energy labs. There might be a place for you, I said finally. Entry-level positions in our community relations team. You'd need training, of course, starting at the bottom. Entry-level, Amanda whispered. Unless you prefer the staff quarters, I smiled. I hear they're quite adequate for people who know their place. They exchanged glances, decades of social superiority crumbling before the new reality I'd created. The positions include basic housing on the mainland, my assistant added. Nothing like your beach house, of course, but suitable for junior employees. Take some time to think about it, I said professionally. The old St. Marie is gone. The question is whether you can adapt to the new one. As they stood to leave, Amanda turned back. The maid's uniform, was any of it real? The uniform was borrowed, I replied. The lessons it taught me about power, privilege, and perspective, those were priceless. After they left, I returned to my plans. Below, the island continued its transformation just as I'd envisioned while scrubbing their pool and serving their drinks. My phone buzzed one final time. Forbes cover confirmed. The maid who bought the island, the tech world's greatest undercover boss story. I smiled, remembering Amanda's words. The help should know their place. Well, I did know my place. It just happened to be owning the entire island.